Hello, hello. Welcome back to The Spark is Love. We have a very, very exciting guest. Her name is Andrea Jaramillo, and she is a nurse, and she is a beautiful nurse because she's all into innovation. Andrea, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you for inviting me. This is really good. Thank you for all the work you do.
Thank you. Thank you. So, our viewers want to know. I've met you at a hackathon. You were one of the judges. A hackathon, by the way, is where nurses come together and we just innovate solutions in a fun, packed, intense weekend. And so, Andrea, can you give us a little bit of background about yourself, about how did you get into nursing?
Of course, I got into nursing really seeing other nurses. I was an interpreter at the NIH, and that's kind of when my first time I interacted with nurses in a professional level. And I really fell in love with what nurses were doing, how they really approached, the care of patients, how they were really being leaders and, really finding ways to make the experience of the patients the best it can be. So, from then I started finding ways to go to nursing school.
Mhm.
And on 2017, I graduated from UMass Boston. So here I am.
And you know what? You have the heart of a nurse. You really love people and it comes through in your character. Now look at our profession. Look what's going on. Everybody's talking about it. And I just want your input. What do nurses are stressed out, they're burnt out. We're currently in a state where the type of nursing is unsustainable. And there are a lot of changes that needs to be made within the healthcare system. Do you have any tips for nurses who are at the bedside or on the front lines?
Yes, absolutely. I first of all want to acknowledge the pain and trauma that has been going on for our profession during many years. It just got aggravated, but I think it's been a chronic process.
Mhm.
From that being said, I have experience in my own career, in my own path, burnout, and I had to combat strategize on how to combat this. And the way I found it very helpful, and in my work for some or not, but for me especially, has been to diversify what I do, and that really has helped me take care of my whole self,
Yes.
and do continue to give to my patients and be at the bedside,
Mhm.
not full time, because I think for me personally it's not sustainable, but it's something I love dearly. So I do 3 days a week. I do hospice care.
Okay.
I visit my patients. One day a week, I am a nurse farmer. So I go to my local farm and we grow vegetables and sell them to the community and, take care of the land.
Yes.
Um, and one day a week, I am a consultant and I do some research. So that keeps, my curiosity fed and just different parts of ourselves that, it gives me enough time to my mind have some rest, my
Yes.
spirit have some rest.
Yes.
So I know, for not everybody will be the best strategy, but maybe for some people it is,
Yes,
uh,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I love that you're a nurse farmer. I am too. I am learning. I'm starting, but I've been really pulling people into the community, into our community garden. That is wonderful. I don't even think I've ever heard someone diversify in that way.
Mm.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Do you mind explaining a little bit of what SONSIEL is for nurses who may
Yes.
not have heard about it?
So SONSIEL is the Society of Nurse Innovators,
Mm-hmm.
scientists, entrepreneurs, and leaders. And it's this organization that started about 2 years ago, which it's amazing everything that the people who belong to this organization have done for the profession, and where the future is going to be, with all of us really giving the chance for other nurses to be involved in these type of things, so innovation, meaning nurses are at the forefront of every device. They use every device, every technology in the hospital, and we're never asked how does this technology will serve you, or if that design is it's well suited for our workflow, or all these things. So
Mm-hmm.
we do have an expertise, and we're well positioned to be part of these solutions.
Yes.
Innovation can also mean you make a prototype, you make something new, or changing a system that
Mm-hmm.
it's an innovative way to do it. So it's not always about technology, but it can be just a new way to do it. It can be high tech or low tech. It could be putting a poster in a patient room and doing something different. So there's many ways to innovate. So I think we are all, SONSIEL believes that every nurse is an innovator. So we need to tap that, and creativity heals. We create something, and that's just a really beautiful road to heal ourselves in putting something out there in the world that comes from a place of love, from a place of I want to make things better.
Yeah.
So that's the innovation part. Entrepreneurship, we are again well suited to start our businesses or change things inside our institutions. So entrepreneurship, leadership. There's many nurses who have gone through the path that are more than willing to mentor us, to show us the ways, and always being in community. We learn from each other and we grow with each other. And scientists, we are nurses who can bring so many, our curiosity and find evidence that can really better the way we care for our patients.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is the methodologies that we need to learn as nurses, to make good research, to publish good research, good evidence. We need to, we're all nurses, no matter if we have PhDs or master's degrees, bachelor's, at any level we can do some kind of research.
Absolutely, because at every level, we're impacting and touching people's lives. So you're absolutely right. Something that I really enjoyed was you actually had an interview on the Drew Barrymore show. Can you give us? I just want a little behind the scenes. How was that experience for you?
That was, yeah.
I couldn't think of anyone better to
Oh.
represent nurses because you have the presence and the heart of a nurse. How was that opportunity for you?
It was really amazing. Thanks, Cassie. It was great. And when I was asked to do it, I think, as someone who has not been actively, in the public,
Mhm.
it was scary to say yes to something like that.
Mhm.
But I think thinking that, um, having a voice in a space that it's, national space or things like
Mhm.
that, it was a responsibility, a call that I had to honor.
Yeah.
And I think we do it with courage, and we do it with love. So I
Yeah.
think I think that was part of the experience for me, to grow in that sense of, okay, I need to start feeling more comfortable putting my voice out, and
Yes.
like you giving this space as well. We come with
Mhm.
courage, we come with love, and every nurse can do that. We have the potential to do it.
Mhm.
So I think that part
Absolutely.
was definitely important. Seeing, everybody in the show is so nice, so kind. Having all the nurses in the audience, it was like being in the presence of all these brothers and sisters that had my back. So I think that made it a lot easier. you know?
Yes, you were very well supported. You were very well supported. And
Yeah.
I really love the point that you make that you weren't in the space of being in the forefront, in the public. And your background, which I want to talk a little bit about, is hospice. And hospice is a very unique type of nursing. I had the privilege of having a patient, one hospice patient, and it transformed my career because hospice, it's a type of nursing where you it pulls on every fiber of your caring model, your spirituality, your emotions, everything comes out for this patient as the last time to live. And being a hospice nurse in the middle of a pandemic and being out there in the eye of the public speaking for nurses, I think you have a very unique perspective.
Mm.
And so I just want to talk a little bit about hospice. What is your what has been your experience in hospice?
Yes. Well, to be honest, I have to say my hospice experience started as a labor and delivery nurse, which is an interesting thing, right? The two
Yes.
extremes.
Yes.
uh, but that was my first job, and you do have times where you need to do the care of the mices and things like that, and but you also receive life, and I think it's the transitions that I think I connect with as a nurse.
Mhm.
Transitions in care, transitions from sickness to wellness, from birth to death. So I think that's what for me nursing really means. It's that person who is there in the transition you know
I'm gonna be such a millennial here. But when you said that, you know what I thought of? There's a show called Call the Midwife. And
Yes.
and the main character, she did that. She transitioned from being labor and delivery to hospice. And it seemed like a very awkward transition, like so sharp. But being in hospice and having a baby, I understand. I get it. I get it. It is life. It's just life. I can't verbalize it, but it is life. And I think that's what makes me really exciting about being on this channel and sending out sparks of love, because sparks of love is life. And whether you're entering this world or you're leaving this world, there is life. And I think it makes you aware of your life, and put in the gravity of it, where you can take care of yourself. You can take care of others, but care for yourself in a way that you can care for others. I don't know if I'm verbalizing it right.
No, totally. And I am very lucky to work for a very good company. I think it's a non-profit organization first,
Mhm.
hospice care in Massachusetts. So it's I really respect them because they grow very responsibly. They really respect their nurses. Um, my manager, the first time I went out on to see patients on my own, he took me aside and he said, Andrea, I want you to slow down. I never had some, for me that
Yes.
was the best advice, because he's like, you need to do this work in a very present manner.
Yes.
And
Yes.
those words to me have stuck every day because it's so true. Our presence is so important. It's so therapeutic. It's really what connects us to what we're doing, to our patients, to the moment. It's, I think, how love and the light comes through us, with us, and it's present with us, And fortunately, I think seeing people in their homes gives a space for that.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't think when I was in a facility, maybe I had that space,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's very intimate. It's
Mm.
very non-hierarchical.
Yeah.
Power dynamics. I'm a guest in their home,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
I am received to come in, to their home.
Yes.
So it's a very different way of practicing.
Yes. I was going to ask you this question, but I think you already answered it because it's something that people don't know about hospice,
Mm,
but I think it's something that all of us, nurses, as well as the public, can learn that the nursing presence in itself. We're so used to the nurse hanging the IV, hanging the antibiotics, running, gonna, put a cath in. Sometimes we even pride ourselves, like I have to put IVs in. We pride ourselves in all the things that we do because we do amazing things. But I think what you just said about the nursing presence, so sometimes just slowing down and realizing that, like Florence Nightingale says, we are the instrument of healing,
mm.
just our presence. The fact that we're there and we care and we'll move heaven and earth to take care of this patient and get them what they need. That speaks volumes. And that is like such a sacred place to end this interview. I really appreciate having you. But it was a pleasure having you here,
Mm,
Andrea. I absolutely love having this interview with you and holding this space with you.
Thank you. And, good luck with all the work you're doing. It's
Thank
amazing. And putting love out there, it's always a good thing.